morning, everybody. It's Shelly with Creating Happy Mondays. Hope you're having a great Friday. For some of us, this is the day we live for, Friday. For me, it's just another day. Another day in paradise. Today I'm going grocery shopping because it's grocery shopping day. And I'm going to list some stuff. I might run to the thrift store and get a jewelry jar. I'm going to start switching that up to more jewelry instead of clothes. Hi, Heather. How are you? So nobody wants to hear about what I'm doing today. The best methods of using the law of attraction is what I'm going to talk about today. And the reason that I came up with that subject for the day is because Friday is about self-care, self-help. Justo serve. Hello. What does that name mean? So the reason that I came up with the best methods as my subject line for the day is because I've been watching on a lot of law of attraction groups and comments of people putting on there and saying, I've tried the 5-5-5 method and I've done it for 2 weeks and nothing's happening. It's not working. Why isn't it working? It's supposed to work. Or I tried the half cup method or whatever it is. I've tried affirmations. I've done them for 2 months and nothing's happening. Everything's failing. Or I started doing this new method and now I lost my job and my parents kicked me out and my car broke down. It's like, okay, people, just to serve and my name landing. Oh, cool. So the reason it's not working is because you aren't doing it in a joyful way. The whole premise behind any method of using the law of attraction to your advantage, to make your life better and happier, is to change your mindset, is to change your subconscious programming to feel better, to think better, to act better, to see the good, to see the opportunity, to see the abundance. So you can't pick a method. So I'll just give you an example. I like to write things. I like writing things down. I like reading them. When I was in high school, when I would study for a big test, I would write things down. That's how it goes into my head. I love writing. I love handwriting. That's what works for me. So when I write down my affirmations, they stick with me better. So if I was to go out there and say, well, I heard that if I do a vision board on my computer, that it works really good. So it worked for my friend Susie, so I'm going to do it. And it better work for me because it worked for her. So obviously it works. So being a person who isn't really big into graphic design, it's going to be a struggle for me to even get to the part of my computer that I can do all of that in. And I just want to let you know, I do know how to do that, but I'm just giving an example. So I go into my computer, I get frustrated because I can't figure out what program. Now, how am I going to find these images to put in this virtual vision board? Ugh. And then I'm like, a week to make this stupid vision board. And now I've got to look at it every day. And every time I look at it, I'm just reminded about how frustrating it was and how nothing's showing up and how's any of this even going to happen, you know? So when you do it like that, it's not going to work. Whether it worked for Susie and a million other people, it's not going to work for you because you're not going at it in a joyful, you're not going at it in a joyful way. So I know for me, if I need to kind of reboot my subconscious to start thinking of new things and better things, or, I find myself slipping, or I'm figure out, hey, I really want to do this and I want to, start changing my mindset towards that. I know for me, it's easier for me and better for me and more joyful for me to find a notebook and start writing. That's what works for me. So you've got to find what works for you. And there are all sorts of ways. And I'm going to find some videos and link them to put them in the description of different methods, because there's different methods for everything. And the best method for you to start changing the way your brain works around the law of attraction is what makes you happy. What makes you happy? And then as you use that method, it becomes habit. So when you go out into the world and someone wants into traffic, when before you might have been like, look at this jerk. Okay, fine, whatever. Come into traffic. Like, that's not the way to be. The way to be is, oh my gosh, I'm totally letting this guy in. That feels so much better. Those are the things, the daily things that you do. When you go out to your mailbox and you get a bill and you're like, you could be just like, oh, great, another bill. This sucks so bad. I can't afford anything. I never have enough money. Or you can get the bill and go, wow, that's cool. I had electricity for a whole month, and now I get to have electricity for another month after I pay this electric bill. Those are the ways to be. When you get into that mindset, when you start changing the way you think, feel, and act, your life starts flipping to a better way. And it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. We are all in this journey every single day. Right now, wouldn't you rather be happier? And you can say, well, Shelly, I'm not happy because I lost my job, or I don't have enough money, or I broke up with somebody, or, I'm too overweight, or blah, blah, blah. But it's up to you to change that. It's up to you to start making those little tweaks where you're like, I'm in the break room and I can have the donut or I can have the orange or apple. What do I want? Maybe I'll have half a donut and half an apple. Do it. That's a start. And that's a good, first step. You've got to get to a point where you're not beating yourself up or getting frustrated because it's not working. The best method for using the law of attraction to your advantage is finding out what works for you. Just like an eating plan if you're trying to lose weight. Just like a relationship. If you want to be happier in a relationship, you have to know what you're going to put up with. You got to know what you're going to love. You got to know how much you want to compromise. You got to get into that happy place where somebody comes along and they're like, oh, well, you have to do this and this and this to please me. And you're like, you know what? That's not working for me. You have a great life. I'm going to go over here and have a great life. That's what a good relationship is about, is getting to that point where you know that you're not going to put up with that. That doesn't make that person a bad person. It's just not what you're into right now. And then you find that person that meshes with you. But I also want to touch on this because this drives me crazy. The whole soulmate twin flame thing. A relationship, whether it's romantic or friendship or family member or coworker, all of those relationships are meant to teach and learn from. So, you hear these people and they're like, I wasted 5 years of my life on this jerk. No, you didn't. You spent 5 years of your life figuring it out that wasn't the person for you. It's not wasted time because you've learned a bunch of lessons. So take those lessons onto the next relationship. This whole twin flame thing, I can look at my husband and go, I mean, yeah, he's my soulmate, I guess, but I don't look at it that way. We are both from the same source. So we're just in this human experience, bumping around together, being frustrated with each other, loving each other, learning and teaching each other, appreciating each other, not appreciating each other, To me, that's what a relationship is about. And when you get into these, I see these people getting in and out of these relationships all the time because they're looking for this perfect relationship. And I remember thinking that in the first few years of our marriage, like, when is this just going to be great? When is this just going to be bliss all the time? I don't get it. Like, why? What's happening? It's because that doesn't happen until you allow that other person to be who they are. And even when you allow that other person to be who they are and love them for that, you still get frustrated with them. I've seen relationships where it looks like pure bliss, and then, like, 10 years into it, you find out one person's been cheating or drinking or whatever. And it's like, it's because the one person that's just like, oh, everything's so great and they're so great to me and they spoil me all the time and everything's so beautiful, that other person is just like totally getting resentful because they're doing all this changing to make that other person so happy. You've got to get in this balance. I know I've kind of like gone off on this whole relationship thing when this was more about methods, but I just saw a thing about, soulmates and how someday you'll find your soulmate. I just don't want to give people false hope. All of our relationships, our mother-child relationships, our sister-brother relationships, our romantic relationships, our co-workers, our friends in school, all of those relationships, none of them are perfect matches to us where we're never, ever going to get frustrated with them and they're never, ever going to get frustrated with us. We are here to learn and grow and figure out how to love better. And we can't do that by not recognizing that we have to allow other people to be how they are and accept them for that and love them for that. And that's a challenge of mine. And it always has been, and it probably always will be until I take my last breath. But it's a lesson, and I keep learning, and I keep bumping around in it and figuring it out. So I'm going to go back to my original thing now. Hi, Susan. Find a method that works for you. Go on YouTube or just Google methods for using the law of attraction. I'm going to try to stick a few videos on here probably later today on this YouTube video. So if you're watching on Facebook and you want to see the videos later today, just go to YouTube and look up Creating Happy Mondays and you'll find me there. If you are on YouTube, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, a subscription, and share the video. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for listening to my rambling. I appreciate it so much. And you guys have a great Friday and a great weekend. And I will talk to you Monday, and we'll be talking about work and career on Monday. Bye.